जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। यमुनातीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनातीरावनचारी। 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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय युग धर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 2, text number 7. This is Arjun speaking. Arjun speaking to Krishna. So I'll recite the verse 1 or 2 times. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्म सम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्। Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So it's a long purport. We will discuss it in parts. So this is a section where Arjuna is admitting his inability to come to a decision. So all this while he was giving arguments why he should not fight. He gave multiple arguments, multiple reasons. But then finally now he has come to a point where he's sure he doesn't know what to do. And he's saying this time, Yat Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhitan me. Please tell me clearly what is Shreyas. What is the best thing for me to do? Nishchitam Bruhitan me. Please tell me for certain. Nishchitam. And Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. Now I am your Shishya. I am your disciple or student. And surrender unto you totally. So there is this term Shreyas and Prayas. We have discussed this before also. Shreyas means that which is a benefit that is long lasting. Whereas Prayas is immediate benefits. Immediate benefits and long-term benefits. Short-term benefits and long-term benefits. So Arjun doesn't want any solution that will give him some short-term benefits. Now how do you decide what is a short-term benefit? What is a long-term benefit? It's a relative term, right? If you ask a child who is playing around and doesn't want to go to school, the child feels playing is the goal of life, right? All day, let me just play, let me enjoy life. But then if you tell the parents will say, "Nahin, this is just temporary thing. The child has to go to school, study and get a good education." So from parents' point of view, education is a long-term benefit. And playing is also important, but then education is also important. That's something long-term. Especially if there is an examination time, that time the child should stay home, study nicely. Then the child grows up a little bit, then the child becomes aware. Then from a child's point of view, the grown-up child's point of view, career is important. Then all this chota-mota education, party and all, he will keep it aside and focus on career. He will prepare for competitive exams, some other exams, so that he gets a good job, settles down in life. So that is considered long-term. Someone is already settled, married and settled, and for such a person, what is the long-term benefit? Insurance and securities and investments, so that retirement plan, that is considered long-term. So not just your salary and other things, which you will get every month, and not just spending the money for your daily needs, but invest money somewhere, so that's long-term. So when 20, 30 years, if you keep saving your money, and then after 25 years, it will grow into a big amount. Maybe you can purchase a new house. You can do so many things if you have saved money. That is considered long-term. So but what exactly is long-term? How much into the future is long-term? Right? 20 years planning, 2 years planning, 5-year planning, 10-year planning, 25-year planning, 50-year planning. How much is long-term? Where will you draw the line? Right? Now, from the Gita's point of view, any planning you do for this life is short-term. Everything you're planning about this life is short-term. Because life is temporary and this is not your only life. The moment you start planning for your afterlife, that is the beginning of your long-term planning. Shreyas. So if we live our life in total ignorance of what is my next life, what am I going to become, how my current actions in this life is going to affect my next life. If this awareness is missing, we are still in immediate short-term approach to life. In the moment we start contemplating, okay, this action can cause this can lead to this has this consequence, and how I have to prepare for my afterlife. And eventually getting out of the cycle of birth and death. When one starts thinking in this direction, then it is real Shreyas. So Arjun here is asking, instruct me on what is real Shreyas? What is real ultimate benefit for me? Why it is considered short term? Anything about this life? Because everything is temporary. Whether you talk about education or investment or career, anything about this life, anything is considered short term if it has temporary duration. If it is going to end at any time, it is considered short term. Even if afterlife you're talking about, if you're talking about some benefit that will take you into afterlife, if it is going to end, it is considered short term. Any benefit that is not going to end, that has eternal value, forever going to exist, that is something long term. So therefore the Gita encourages, and other scriptures encourage, that don't get carried away by temporary benefits. Oh, you do this puja, you do this ritual, you do this yajna, you worship so and so, and you will get maybe good health or good money, good spouse, good education. So many things you may get. All are important, but not at the cost of something that is eternal. So therefore Arjuna is asking, instruct me and advise me, what is of the ultimate value? What is my ultimate benefit? I understand what needs to be done for becoming happy here in this world. There's basic education I have. But out of these, what is of ultimate value? So here Arjuna is demonstrating the need to accept someone as life coach, life teacher. So we all understand the need for a teacher, right? If I want to study any subject, I need to go to a teacher. We join a school, we join a college or educational institution, we take admission in a particular course, and every course has a teacher. Although in today's times, everything is available on YouTube and internet. Still, if I want a degree, I take admission in a college and study under a professor and get education. Everything is available on internet, right? There are so many courses, so many nice videos, whether it is maths or science or history, geography, any subject, medicine, engineering, everything can be learned from internet. Still, we take admission in a school, study under a professor. But the funny thing is, when it comes to life lessons, we don't really feel the need to study under a teacher. We don't feel the need to have a teacher who can instruct me on the values of life. Right? Especially questions like, what is the purpose of life? What is the goal of life? What is the purpose of this universe? Why this world exists? Why am I born in this world? Does God exist? Who is God? Is there a God? All these questions, we don't feel the need to ask someone. We don't feel the need to have a teacher who can answer these questions. Right? If you ask anyone, any person on the street, anyone in general, you ask about his opinion about what is the purpose of life. Everyone will have multiple opinions. Someone will say purpose of life, just khao, piyo, aish karo. Enjoy life. Someone may say life means, do something good for others. Or the purpose of life is become famous. do something in such a way that you are recognized in society. Do something for the nation. देश भक्ति के लिए कुछ करो, देश के लिए कुछ करो, समाज के लिए कुछ करो. Or someone may say, don't worry about all these things. Just live your life. जियो जीने दो. This is a big philosophy, very popular philosophy. जियो और जीने दो. परेशान मत करो. खुद जियो, दूसरों को परेशान मत करो. So everyone has their own ideologies. And you talk about God? That opens up so many topics, so many opinions. This is God, that is God, that is God. And when someone is frustrated with so many opinions, they will say, everyone is God. Or no one is God. Or I am God. Right? There are people who say, I am God. You all are gods, by the way. All you need to do is realize it. सभी भगवान है. गरीब भी भगवान है, अमीर भी भगवान है, तुम्हारे अंदर भगवान है. So people have opinions. Everyone has a right to hold an opinion. Right? So what exactly is the truth? Is every opinion the truth? Can every statement be true? It cannot be, right? It doesn't make sense to everyone. Every opinion has to be true. You may have the right to have an opinion, but doesn't mean the opinion is going to be true. Just imagine you go to a college and every professor says something else. Every professor has a different opinion. If you're studying mathematics, someone may say 2 plus 2 is 4. Some other teacher says 2 plus 2 is 8. ठीक है, मेरे हिसाब से 2 plus 2 is 8. I have an opinion. 5 plus 3 is not 8. 5 plus 3 is something else. Unlimited opinions we can have. If that is the case, then how will the world run? Right? There has to be some truth. Truth is one. It may be expressed in many ways. That doesn't mean everything is truth. So what is the truth? When it comes to these questions, we need a teacher. And teacher is not someone who will simply pamper my ideas. Teacher has to clearly define things. Just because the student is holding certain ideas and teacher holds a different idea, doesn't mean the teacher is bad. So in this way, Arjun here demonstrates the need to surrender to a guru, to a teacher. And for Arjun, he was fortunate to have Krishna as a teacher, right next to him. And when Arjun inquired, then Krishna started answering. So in the beginning, Krishna was not comfortable to answer, take the position of a guru. Because Krishna and Arjun were friends. They were almost of the same age. Few days ka difference, age mein. And all these years, Arjun and Krishna were dealing as friends. Sakheti matva prasavam yaduktam. Krishna, Arjun were friends, best of friends. Now suddenly one friend is saying, you become my teacher. And you tell me about life, the goal of life and the purpose of life. So Krishna is not comfortable suddenly taking the role of a teacher. He says, are you sure? You want me to become the teacher? But then Arjuna insists, nahi, you become my teacher. Because I know you have a lot of wisdom and I need some enlightenment. That's when Krishna begins to speak. Until then, Krishna doesn't say much. Krishna is also like, okay, yeah, you are also right. You're right. Maybe. Doesn't give any definite statements. So our scriptures emphasize the importance of having a teacher. Not that you keep going to multiple people and keep asking opinions. Oh, what do you think about life? I learn from you, learn from you. And in this way, collect multiple teachings from multiple sources and comprehensively come to some conclusion according to my khichdi banake. I will follow that. That doesn't work. The khichdi idea. That's not a very intelligent suggestion. Approach one. You may have multiple teachers, but surrender to one. Just imagine a student, he wants to learn medicine, for example. Now he takes admission in 4 colleges. What is going to happen? Okay, one day I go to the KEM, second day JJ, third day Sion Hospital, fourth day some other hospital, Nair Hospital. Will that work? That doesn't work. All are good colleges. All are proper recognized colleges. But we need to take admission in one and follow the principles and standards of that college. Right? Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki. So similarly, the idea that I won't accept any single teacher and I will keep hopping from one teacher to another teacher to another teacher. In this way, I will collect whatever I can from multiple people and I will cook something on my own and that's what I will follow. What I think good in each, I will take that and I will cook my thing and I will follow. That is not encouraged. It may have some value, but it won't lead us to any proper destination. So therefore here Arjuna demonstrates. And in our scriptures we find stories in every case. In the Ramayana we find Lord Ramachandra. He accepted a teacher. Who was his teacher? Vasishta Muni was there as his family teacher. Then he took Vishwamitra accepted Vishwamitra Muni as his teacher. In the Krishna Lila we find Krishna when he moved out of Vrindavan and came to Mathura after 11-12 years. Then his parents Devaki and Vasudeva sent him to school, the school of Sandipani Muni in Ujjain. That time it was known as Avanti, city of Avanti. And there he spent 2 months, more than 2 months, studying under Sandipani Muni and learns various kinds of subjects. So in every situation, every story you find, some teacher is there and some student is there. And the student wholeheartedly accepts the instruction of the teacher. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, you find the story of Narada Muni, repeatedly appearing in every story. Narada Muni instructing Dhruva, child Dhruva, Prahlad, he instructs the Prachetas, he instructs King Prachinavarhi, he instructs Yudhishthir, Pandavas. And they accept wholeheartedly the instruction and follow everything. Vyasdev accepts Narad Muni. Just like Arjun was in a confused situation, Vyasdev was also in a confused situation one time. And he approaches Narad Muni and says, I have written so much, I have accomplished so much, but still something is missing in my life. आप बताइए क्या है? क्या कमी है मेरे काम में? So Narad Muni says, you haven't repeatedly glorified Krishna nicely. So write a book that will exclusively describe the activities and teachings of Krishna. And then he writes the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the need to surrender to a guru is extremely important, especially if we want to attain perfection in spiritual life. Spiritual success doesn't depend on our effort alone. Our effort is one part. But then divine grace plays a very important role. So if we are sincere in our efforts, then we attract higher grace. And then we proceed on our spiritual progress. So it's not that simply by my effort, my hard work, my intelligence, my influence, my money, my position, with that I can attain success. All those things are external. The main thing that will pull out is superior grace. The example given is someone who is drowning in an ocean. समुद्र में कोई डूब रहा है तो उसको बचाएगा कौन? He has to put effort. Suppose there are many ships passing along the ocean, but they won't notice the drowning man if he doesn't work hard, if he doesn't move his hands, right? So when he starts flapping his hands, then someone will notice and they will come to him, come to his rescue, and then pull him out. So simply by moving his hands, he is not going to be rescued. But he's moving his hands, he will attract attention, and then they will rescue him. Similarly, all our efforts are like trying to attract divine grace, Krishna's grace. And then that grace can pull us. And Krishna's grace usually comes through Guru. Guru is a representative of Krishna. So Guru's grace, Guru's instruction is as good as Krishna's instruction. Krishna may not personally come to us like he did for Arjun, but Krishna sends his representative, who is a Guru. And that is as good as Krishna personally coming in our life. So therefore, even in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, we find, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, still to set the right example, he approaches a Guru. His Guru was Ishwar Puri. And Ishwar Puri, he surrenders his life to Ishwar Puri and takes instruction from him. And in this way, he leads his life based on his instructions. So every successful character in the scriptures, there is no example who has become perfect without the help of a Guru. That's the fundamental requirement for spiritual success. So in this way, Arjuna is demonstrating, Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. And the purport we find, Prabhupada elaborates a very nice point. He says, he talks about perplexities of life. He says, by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step, there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a Guru to get free from the perplexities of life. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life will automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. Then he says, who is a Kripana? So there are these two terms that come, Kripana and Brahmana. So Kripana means miser, Kanjus. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human and who thus quits this world like the cats and dogs without understanding the science of self-realization. It's an important term. Kripana means some who doesn't utilize his human life to solve the problems of life. Suppose I give you 10 lakhs, 1 crore rupees. And if you misuse the amount, or you don't know how to use the amount, then it's a waste, right? Then next time I will never give you so much amount. So such a person who has already received the best gift. What is the best gift? The human body. Human body with a good intelligence. That's like a very valuable treasure. If one doesn't use this for solving the problems of life, then such a person is called Kripana. So what are the problems of life? 4. Birth, old age, disease, death. Or let us say old age, disease, death and rebirth. These are 4 of the problems of life. And everyone is going through this. So if anyone doesn't work to find the solution to these problems, then such a person is called Kripana. So what is the real problem? A real problem is, there are many problems in this world. What is the definition of a real problem? A real problem is that problem that has three characteristics. First is, no one wants it. So now check. Old age, disease, death, birth. No one wants it. No one likes to become old. No one likes to fall sick. No one wants to die. And no one wants to take birth. Again, the miserable birth. No one wants it. The second characteristic is no one can avoid it. Right? We can't avoid old age. We can't avoid illness. We can't avoid death, definitely. And those who believe in rebirth, they cannot avoid rebirth. Someone may say, I don't believe in rebirth. That's another thing. We don't want to get into that. But according to the Gita, at least there is rebirth and no one can avoid it. Simply by not believing in something doesn't mean you can avoid it. So no one wants it, no one can avoid it. And the third characteristic is it is common to all. That's the sign of a real problem. Now someone may say a real problem in this world is poverty. It's not common to all. Not everyone is poor. Some people say handicap, blindness, or corruption, or illiteracy. All are problems, but it's not common to all. Right? So no one wants it, no one can avoid it, and common to all. So these four, birth, old age, disease, death, these four fulfill the characteristics of a real problem. So our acharyas explain, if after getting a human life, if one doesn't work to find solutions to these problems, then such a person is a Kripana, miser. In this life, you have the opportunity to solve these problems, and you waste your life in petty material pleasures. What a waste. इतना बड़ा मौका मिला, wasted for stupid pleasures. You could have permanently solved these problems. Permanently get rid of old age, permanently get rid of sickness, permanently solve the problem of death. No more death. One last death, because we have a body now. But after this, no more rebirth, no more death. No more cycle of birth and death. Permanently solved. That opportunity is given in this life, in this human body. And if you don't utilize this body for that problem solving, then we are a Kripana, according to this statement. As against Kripana, you have the Brahmana. Brahmana is someone, not the caste wala Brahman ki baat nahi kar rahe hum log. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and how caste discrimination happened and how all this racial discrimination happened. We are not talking about that. Real Brahmana, according to the real definition, is someone who understands the value of life and understands the real problems of life and works to find a permanent solution to the problems of life. If someone is working in this direction, putting efforts in this direction, then such a person is called Brahmana. So here Prabhupada writes, the Kripana waste their time in being overly affectionate for material things, family, society, country, etc. One is often attached to all these things on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect everyone, his family members, from death. Or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such family attachment can be found even in the animals. So in this way, Kripana and Brahmana are described. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, you find the story of conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and one one of his close associates called Sanatan Goswami. Swarup and Sanatan Goswami were two brothers having very high position at that time. This is 500 years ago. They were the ministers in the kingdom of Nawab Hussain Shah, Islamic kingdom at that time. Bengal was ruled by Muslim king called Nawab Hussain Shah. And these two were ministers in that kingdom. Very influential people. But somehow they left their job and joined the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Sanatan Goswami met Lord Chaitanya, very scholarly person, very intelligent, very expert in many things, politics and diplomacy. But he kept aside all these things, and in front of Lord Chaitanya he became a very humble student. He asks Mahaprabhu, Ke ami kene amai jare tapatraye. Iha nahi jani ke mane hita hoy. This is Bengali. He says, who am I? Ke ami. Why do the threefold miseries always give me trouble? Jare tapatraye. Why these threefold? Threefold miseries means Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adhyatmik Kleshas. We are always troubled by these tapatraye, threefold miseries. Miseries caused by our own body and mind, miseries caused by other living entities, miseries caused by higher powers, natural calamities. They are called the three tapatraye. The Trishul of Durga, they represent these three. Navaratri is going on. So Durga holds this Trishul and is tormenting all of us using these miseries. We all are going through these miseries in some form or the other. That is Durga's punishment. So Sanatan Goswami is asking, why am I suffering? Why are these miseries always giving me trouble? Iha nahi jani ke mane hita hai. Therefore, I do not know how can I benefit myself. How can I come out of this struggle? So there is this constant struggle for existence, right? Survival of the fittest and struggle for existence. Darwin's theory. So constant struggle between less powerful living entities than more powerful living entities. So people, what is that verse? Chatushpadam. So more powerful living entities will always attack less powerful living entities. In this way, struggle is going on constantly. Just to survive in this world, we have to struggle hard. So therefore, Sanatan Goswami is asking, how can I come out of this? So there our Acharya explained, this is the real question we should ask as a human being. Not other things are important, how to earn money, how to do this, how to do that. These are all important. But all these questions should lead to the main question, which is how to solve the ultimate problems of life, how to understand the ultimate goal of life. So when we ask these questions, then we are fulfilling the purpose of human body. Then he says, Sadhya sadhana tattva puchite na jani, kripa kari sava tattva kahata apani. Although he was a big scholar, he says, actually I do not know how to inquire about the goal of life and the process for obtaining it. Being merciful upon me, please explain all these truths. So just like Arjun is asking here, Sanatan Goswami is also asking similar question. Please tell me the highest truth. People may call me big scholar, big pandit, this and that, but actually I do not know the essence of life. People call me big pandit and I am thinking I am a big pandit. But actually I don't know the answers to the fundamental questions of life. What a fool I am. When they call me pandit, I think I am a pandit. I move around as if I am a big scholar. But what kind of scholar am I? I don't know the answers to basic questions only. Sanatan Goswami is saying. So here we are all proud of our accomplishments, proud of our PhDs and other degrees and our social position, and we think, yeah, I am a successful person. And people also say, you are successful. Kya bada aadmi hai bhai? But if we don't know the answers to these questions, then we are foolish. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find a nice story of Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat was a great sage, but he was not recognized by anyone. He was moving around as if he was a fool. And people thought he's a fool. And one day, there was this king of their area named Rahugan. So Rahugan was traveling on a palki, and 4 people were carrying him. 3 people were carrying him, and they need one more 4th person. 4 log lagte hain na uthane ke liye. So they were looking for one strong person who can carry the palki. So they saw this Jada Bharat, a very hatta-katta, hefty person. So they called him, hey, thoda uthane aa. So Jada Bharat didn't protest. I said, okay. Then he started carrying the 4th danda. And they are walking. The king is sitting on the palki. But Jada Bharat is more focused on the road. He doesn't want to step over insects and ants. So whenever he would see an insect or ant, he would move in a different direction. 3 log ek taraf se ja rahe, and Jada Bharat would go in a different direction. So wo thoda hil jata tha, balance. And the king would get disturbed. King is sitting comfortably. Suddenly ek aadmi agar thoda halt ke chal raha hai to. So it happened a couple of times. Finally the king got angry. And he came down and started shouting, can't you guys, don't you know how to carry the palanquin? So the other 3 said, we are doing properly our job. This guy, he is not walking properly. So the king shouted at him, hey, you look, dikhne mein to hatta katta hai, why can't you carry properly? So he didn't say anything. He just tolerated the king's abuses. And again the king sat on the palki. And he shouted, now you walk properly, otherwise I'll punish you, he said. Again they started walking. Again Jada Bharat continued his style. Whenever insect would come, he would move this in that way, direction. So king got really furious. He stepped out of the palki and gave a real peace of his mind to Jada Bharat. So if you don't do your thing properly, I will kill you. I can kill you. I am the king of the land. That's when Jada Bharat opened his mouth for the first time. He said, come here. He said, you are shouting at me. You think you are the king and I am an ordinary citizen. What do you think you were in your previous life? And what do you think you are going to become in your next life? Now you are the king and I am a subordinate. Next life I may be the king and you could be my subordinate. Roles keep changing all the time. Life in this world is temporary. Don't be arrogant about your position now. And then he starts talking about the Atma, what Krishna talks in the Gita. How the soul is, the body is temporary, the soul is unchanging, and the soul keeps on accepting new bodies every time. And depending on your karma, you get a new body. This philosophy he spoke to the king Rahugan. So he said, just because you are a king and you have a position and you have wealth and land and money and possessions, don't insult others because of your external thing. Don't get carried away by all these temporary facilities of life. But they are always changing. And if we identify ourselves with these things, then we will be miserable. We can never be happy. So in this way, when Jada Bharat speaks this philosophy, then Rahu understands, oh, this person is not ordinary. He is a great saint. And then he surrenders his life. He says, oh, you have opened my eyes today. I beg forgiveness. Please forgive me. I am really sorry. I offended you by my harsh words. And please instruct me, what is the real value of life? real benefit of life. And then he starts asking questions. Just like Arjun is asking questions here. Rahugan starts asking questions to Jada Bharat. And then Jada Bharat starts instructing many more things. So there also we understand how we think we are very powerful, influential, I am successful, this and that. But when we meet a bona fide guru, and then when the guru opens our eyes with knowledge, then we realize, oh, I am in so much ignorance. Therefore, one of the prayers to a guru is, Om Ajnana Timiran Dasya Jnanan Janashalakaya. Ajnana Timiran Dasya. अज्ञान के अंधकार से अंधा हूं मैं. Timiran Dasya. And the guru opens my eyes with Jnanan Janashalaka, the ointment of knowledge. Jnana Anjana Shalakaya. Chakshu Unmilitam. My eyes have been opened. To that Guru, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I offer my pranams. I offer my obeisances. So, just like a person suffering from blindness, cataract, you go to a doctor and the doctor does surgery and the cataract is removed and you get vision of this world, right? Till now you are blind, you couldn't see anything. By that operation, you could see everything clearly. Similarly, we also carry a certain blindness. We may not have physical blindness, but our blindness is about the outlook of the world. We carry different perceptions about the world. We are blind to reality. What appears in front of our eyes is something different from actual thing. We see things based on our mentality and our attitude. So what a guru does, or what spiritual knowledge does is change our outlook, change our world view, and then we start seeing things differently. And therefore, this knowledge is also called as darshan. Generally, when we use the term darshan, we come Bhagavan ka darshan, right? We say that. Dham darshan. So, darshan also means spiritual knowledge, a worldview, an outlook about life that scripture presents. It's called darshan. So, when we understand this knowledge, then our darshan of the world will change. The way we look at people, the way we look at the world, the way we look at situations, the way we look at any event of this world, that outlook changes. That outlook has to change. That changed outlook, if you don't get, we remain blind. Not having an evolved outlook of the world is blindness. And for that we need a guru who can open our eyes, and he's not going to do some magic upon us. Not that they will throw some ash upon you and suddenly you become enlightened. Not like that. Nothing mystical about it. They will instruct us, give us some good instructions, like Krishna giving knowledge to Arjun. That knowledge will reveal the world to us. Just like, for example, suppose a patient is lying in the hospital. An ordinary person who goes and sees a patient, he can't understand anything. He may use a stethoscope and he may look at the body and he may even see blood reports. But an ordinary person won't understand anything. But when a doctor sees, a qualified doctor, MD, PhD doctor, when he sees the reports, when he tests ECG, all those things, stethoscopes test karenge, and then he will understand what is the problem, right? When you show the blood reports to a doctor, he will understand, oh, this is the problem. When I look at the blood report, I won't understand anything. So what is the difference? I also have eyes, the doctor has eyes. What makes his analysis different from my analysis? Knowledge, right? And the doctor has knowledge, therefore he can read the report properly. Similarly, when we are acquainted with spiritual knowledge, and with that knowledge, when we see the world, when we look at people, our outlook changes. Our conclusions will change. So therefore, And therefore, we need spiritual knowledge. And that's what Arjuna is receiving here. Krishna is imparting spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. And after hearing the Gita, 18 chapters, Arjuna is a different person in his outlook. The person is the same, but his outlook has changed. He says, Nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadan mayachyuta. Sthitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. Nashto moha. My illusion is gone. Smritir labdha. I have revived my memory. Tvat prasadad mayachyuta. By your grace. Sthitosmi gata sandeha. Now I am situated in the proper mood, proper attitude. Karishye vachanam tava. Now I will do whatever you say. So in this way, this is the turning point of the Gita, this verse where Arjuna is surrendering his life to Krishna and becoming his disciple, surrendered disciple. So we should all try to follow in the footsteps of Arjuna and receive spiritual knowledge. So I'll stop here. Thank you for your kind attention. Anyone has any comments or questions? Announcement? So we have this Gita course coming up. December 1, 2, 3. This is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3-day Gita course called Sutras for Self-Discovery, where you will find basic themes of Gita. The main concepts of the Gita are covered. The topics are, can I find permanent happiness? What is the true purpose of life? Can't I be a good person and without God? One God or many God? Is God one or many or any? How to improve my relationship? All these things are covered here. So if anyone is interested, we can contact Alpesh Prabhu, who is standing there, and register yourself. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna.